morning. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, getting you all the top stories that we're tracking over the next 1 hour. Our focus is going to be on the Uniform Civil Code. Political reactions continuing to come in. We're getting you the inside track on what perhaps the draft of the UCC could actually look like. But first, as always, here are the headlines. Ahead of 2024 battle, mega BJP rejig across multiple states. G. Kishan Reddy takes charge of Telangana, which means Bunty Sanjay has been ousted. Ex-Congress stalwart Sunil Jhakkar to head BJP's Punjab unit. Andhra Pradesh goes to NTR's daughter, D. Purandeshwari. Finance portfolio becomes sticking point for Mahayuti. Pawar's NCP faction demands lucrative finance and planning portfolio. Shinde camp objects. BJP heavyweight B.S. Yediyurappa drops a bombshell, says BJP and H.D. Kumaraswamy's JDS will come together to fight the Congress very soon.
Whatever Kumaraswamy is telling is the truth, and I want to support Kumaraswamy's statement. And Kumaraswamy and we together will fight in future.
Uttarakhand Chief Minister Dhami meets Prime Minister Modi, says UCC will be implemented soon, but no decision will be made in haste. Prime Minister Modi hosts virtual SEO summit with Putin, Xi and Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif in one frame. Talks tough on terror and hits out at countries that are sponsoring cross-border terror.
कुछ देश क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को अपनी नीतियों के इंस्ट्रूमेंट के रूप में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आतंकवादियों को पनाह देते हैं। एससीओ को ऐसे देशों की आलोचना में कोई संकोच।
And K-Army attacks Indian consulate in San Francisco and sets it on fire. Second cowardly attack on Indian consulate in 4 months. US strongly condemns the attack. And let's begin by getting you the latest breaking update that's coming in on all of the political twists and turns that we've been witnessing in Maharashtra. With so much at stake now, you're getting a lot more reactions coming in. Sanjay Raut, part of the Uddhav Sena, has now fired a taunt at Eknath Shinde, saying that the Shinde Sena faction is sulking, and with Ajit Pawar rising, it will mean the fall of Eknath Shinde. He's in fact taken a taunt at Eknath Shinde, particularly over the news break that we put out here on India Today over the big fight over portfolios. That finance and planning is something that the Ajit Pawar faction is gunning for, and Shinde Sena wants to hold on to these portfolios. Sanjay Raut now wading into this controversy, saying it's very clear that that Ajit Pawar's faction has been brought in the cost of the Shinde Sena. Let's play out for you what Raut has said.
शिवसेना भी एक साल से यही संघर्ष कर रही है, तो हम सब महाविकास आघाड़ी के बैनर के नीचे हम एक साथ हैं, ये हम बताते हैं बार बार। आज उद्धव ठाकरे साहब और पवार साहब से भी बातचीत की है, दोनों ने एक दूसरे के साथ, और सभी नेता, कांग्रेस हो, चाहे राहुल गांधी जी हो, चाहे पवार साहब हो, चाहे उद्धव ठाकरे जी हो, निरंतर एक दूसरे के संपर्क में है।
And even as Sanjay Raut has taken that jibe at Shinde Sena, let's tell you about the big fight that's broken out in the Mahayuti. It may seem like all is well because they have the numbers, but that's most definitely not the case. The big fight over portfolio allocation has now broken out, with Ajit Pawar seeking the lion's share, seeking the big bang portfolios of finance and planning. Something that at this point the Shinde Sena is resisting, saying they want to hold on to these portfolios. Remember that finance currently is with Devendra Fadnavis. Let's take this across to Sahil Joshi, our managing editor, who's joining us live from Mumbai, getting us every single update on the story. Sahil, which way is it going to go? At the end of the day, you know, the Mahayuti has a lot more issues to iron out. This perhaps is just the beginning to show some of the tensions that are lying within this alliance.
Well, the portfolio distribution is always going to be the key, because in Mahavikas Aghadi, that is what actually caused the rift within the Mahavikas Aghadi, specifically within the Shiv Sena. Because last year, when the MLAs with Eknath Shinde rebelled against Uddhav Thackeray, they made a reason that how Ajit Pawar, who was a finance minister of the MVA government, was not allocating funds for the Shiv Sena MLAs, whereas he was concentrating more with the NCP MLAs, and that's what, according to them, was weakening the position of the Shiv Sena MLAs, and that's why they decided to rebel against the Mahavikas Aghadi, the Uddhav Thackeray, and then, we saw what happened last year in Maharashtra. This time again, the demand by the Ajit Pawar faction is, of course, the finance portfolio, because there are in this government, the chief ministership is with the Shiv Sena, the deputy chief ministership was with the BJP, but of course the BJP also had all the plum portfolios, including the finance, the home, power, housing, the irrigation, and revenue as well. So now when the third partner has come in, they will have to give away with at least one of the plum portfolios, which of course in the state like Maharashtra, the finance ministry becomes a big portfolio, and if there is another deputy chief minister, he would hope to have such kind of portfolio with him. But now again the Shiv Sena MLAs have come back to the original stand that we had the same problem, we don't want to have the same problem again, and that is where it looks like that the situation is a bit stuck. Right now the Chief Minister and Devendra Fadnavis has gone to receive the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, who is visiting Maharashtra on 2 days tour. So Ajit Pawar had said that the discussion will be on, but he says that these things will be ironed out soon. But this is just the beginning, as you rightly said, because end of the day, finally, if these three partners have to contest elections together, that is where again the fight will happen. There will be fight for the credit as well. So the situation will unfold more, and we'll have to wait and see what goes further in this.
Let's see who wins the first round, at least, of this portfolio allocation battle that's currently underway amid this freshly minted alliance partners. Thanks very much, Sahil, for getting us all of those updates. Let's round up for you all the updates that have come in from Maharashtra so far. We've put the focus on the battle for NCP. Come tomorrow, we'll know who's won, whether it's Ajit Pawar or Sharad Pawar, because both factions have called meetings. But amid that, you had earlier today Ajit Pawar inaugurating a brand new NCP office. Let's get you those details.
The stage is set for a show of strength by Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar. The two factions of the NCP have called separate meetings of MLAs in Mumbai on Wednesday. The Ajit Pawar faction claims the support of over 40 MLAs, which is more than the 36 needed to escape the anti-defection law. But the Sharad Pawar camp rejects the claim.
40च्या वर चांगला नंबर आहे. मी बोलते, मी एक काम करेल, आज गेल्यावर व्यवस्थित बोलतो.
जो 1 साल से महाराष्ट्र में चल रहा है, तो जिन लोगों ने मतदान किया है उनको भी ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी, और जब ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगती तब वो कहते हैं कि उनका जो मतदान है वो शायद वेस्ट हो गया. और इस सिचुएशन में लड़ना भी इसी भूमि ने, इसी विचार ने हमको सिखाया है. तो कितना भी मतदारों को लगा, मैं उनको उतना ही कहूंगा कि लड़ना तो हमको है.
Even as the number crunching is still on, Ajit Pawar has got down to business, inaugurating a new NCP office near the Mantralaya, the administrative headquarters of the Maharashtra government. The inauguration, however, did not go as smoothly as imagined. The NCP workers had to break the lock and enter the office as the PWD did not give the keys on time. Shortly after the inauguration of the new NCP office, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis held a meeting with Ajit Pawar and other newly inducted NCP ministers. Sources say the leaders discussed portfolio allocation. According to sources, the Ajit camp is likely to get the finance, planning and cooperative ministries. They have reportedly also asked for power, irrigation or higher and technical education departments.
कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है। और पोर्टफोलियो अलॉट नहीं हुआ करके कोई काम रुकेगा नहीं। कुछ पोर्टफोलियो मुख्यमंत्री जी के पास है, कुछ बाकी मंत्रियों के पास है, कोई डीसीएम साहब के पास है। पोर्टफोलियो चर्चा के बाद, संवाद के बाद वितरित होंगे।
अजीत पवार फाइनेंस और प्लानिंग मांग रहे हैं, लेकिन शिंदे खेमे से जो मंत्री है वो उसका विरोध कर रहे हैं, ऐसी खबरें आ रही है।
इस पार्टी में कोई कुछ मांगता नहीं। अब आग लगाने वालों से आग बुझाने वालों की संख्या सरकार में बहुत बड़ी है।
Portfolio allocation is a hot potato, as Chief Minister Shinde's Shiv Sena is wary of handing over key ministries to the NCP, who has been their political rivals for decades. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get your news now coming in of how the BJP is now going all out in the poll-bound states. Just months to go for the elections in states like Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Telangana. And the Prime Minister is going to be there in a few days from now. He's going to be visiting 4 states in a matter of 2 days. Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana as well as Uttar Pradesh, where he's going to be inaugurating, launching a slew of projects. We understand nearly 50 projects worth 50,000 crores will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. I'd like to bring in Shah, who tracks the BJP closely for us. The messaging, the strategy is very clear. While once again the focus will be on development, the Prime Minister's schedule of Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana is aimed at the elections.
Absolutely. It's aimed at the elections. The Prime Minister will be touring all of these 4 states within a span of 2 days. So on the 7th and the 8th of July, he's going to be visiting Chhattisgarh first. He will land in Raipur. From there, he will head in fact to Uttar Pradesh. He'll go to Gorakhpur, where he will be at the Gita Press program. And then subsequent to that, he will head to his own constituency of Varanasi, where again, he's going to launch a slew of developmental projects. From Varanasi, in fact, he will head to Telangana on the 8th of July. Telangana, he will be in Warangal to attend, in fact, and address a public meeting over there. He'll also be launching several developmental projects in the poll-bound state. It will be a big challenge, of course, for the newly appointed BJP chief of the state of Telangana, G. Kishan Reddy, his first big program where he will have to host the Prime Minister in the state of Telangana, and then subsequent to that, he will be headed to Bikaner in Rajasthan.
All right, interesting schedule ahead. Thanks very much, Paulami, for joining us with all of those details. The BJP clearly focused on the 2023 elections and then the larger picture of 2024 as well. What will that look like? Well, the BJP right now, keeping in mind how the opposition is trying to come together, is focused on making the NDA strong. And with what's happened in Maharashtra, with Ajit Pawar dropping ship and joining hands with the BJP Shinde Sena, they're trying to ensure that there's a similar story in several other states, in Bihar, in Karnataka, in Punjab. Could we see a repeat? Could we see more parties switching over and joining the NDA? Let's tell you about that.
Amid mega bid for opposition unity and the feel-good factor for opposition with Congress win in Karnataka, came a bolt from blue for the opposition. The mega NCP coup in Maharashtra by Ajit Pawar, the Mahapawar play, came as a massive dampener, exposing the chunk in opposition camp. Ajit Pawar dumped Uncle Sharad Pawar right after attending mega opposition meet in Patna. To make matters worse for opposition, estranged NDA allies like Om Prakash Rajbhar's SBSP have started making a beeline to join the Modi bandwagon for 2024 polls.
सपा के कई विधायक सरकार में शामिल होने के लिए परेशान हैं। कई विधायक टिकट लोकसभा का चाहते हैं, अपने परिवार को दिलाना चाहते हैं। कई लोग तो हमारे यहाँ संपर्क में खुद हैं कि कोई जुगाड़ बना दीजिए, कोई रास्ता बता दीजिए। उनके भी रास्ता तो बगल में सीएम हैं, चले जाइए।
In Karnataka, BJP leader Yadurappa said BJP will come together with H.D. Kumaraswamy's JDS on key issues.
Kumaraswamy and we together will fight in future.
Kumaraswamy on his part predicted an Ajit Pawar-like coup in Karnataka and implosion of Sidhu Sarkar.
Here also, Ajit Pawar type of person may emerge in future days. For that actually we have to wait and watch.
The tremors of opposition quake were even felt in Bihar, where BJP claimed that several leaders from Nitish Kumar's JDU were willing to defect.
कार्यकर्ता ज्यादा दुखी हैं कि क्या क्या कर रहे हैं नीतीश बाबू। 18 साल हो गए, जो बच्चा जन्म लिया था वो अब बालिग हो गया। नीतीश बाबू क्या कर रहे हैं?
In Punjab, there is big buzz about Akali Dal's return to the NDA fold. If it gets the seat share deal it is angling for. A resurgent BJP termed this only the beginning and predicted a massive rush from opposition camp to join the NDA.
2024 की दृष्टि से भी इन दलों का साथ में जुड़ना और कई और दलों का भारत के विकास के लिए एक मजबूत, निरंतर और स्थिर सरकार भारत के हित में देखते हैं तो लोगों का जुड़ना स्वाभाविक है।
Amid all the political dangle, who will have the last laugh? Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. Let's get to all the updates coming in on the Uniform Civil Code and all the reactions. The Vice President has now jumped into this entire debate. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has now made a comment backing Uniform Civil Code, saying that if it's not implemented, it will be corrosive to society. So he's batted for the immediate implementation of one nation, one law at a time when there are many elements in society, political and otherwise, who say that now is not the right time, that there are political motives attached to bringing UCC. Let's play out for you what Vice President Dhankar has to say.
Any further delay in implementation of Uniform Civil Code will be corrosive of our values. The underlying sublimity of it has to be appreciated and understood. This will bind Bharat, its nationalism, more effectively, and that was the thought process of founding fathers of the Constitution.
So a series of meetings, updates that are coming in on the Uniform Civil Code. Let's round those up for you. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and discussed the state's Uniform Civil Code draft. Chairperson of the Uttarakhand UCC Drafting Committee also interestingly accompanied the Chief Minister. Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee for Law and Justice Sushil Modi, who chaired a meeting yesterday, suggested that the laws governing the Northeast and tribals are different and thus they should be exempted from following UCC. Jamiat-e-Ulema-e-Hind said that UCC is against the freedom of religion as it takes away the religious freedom and fundamental rights given to citizens under Article 25 of the Constitution. They further said that UCC is a threat to the country. They're forwarding their opinion now to the Law Commission. And Uddhav Thackeray held a meeting with his party MLAs, discussed UCC. Uddhav Thackeray reportedly said that while UCC is something that Balasaheb Thackeray believed in, the circumstances are different, and hence he said that they will adopt a wait and watch approach. So whenever we refer to the Uniform Civil Code and the debate that surrounds it, the opposition leaders have constantly asked one question: how can we form an opinion on something that we don't know the contents of? What is the draft of the UCC looking like? Let's get you details of what we've picked up from the series of meetings that have happened so far on what the UCC could look like.
The debate over UCC rages on as the Modi government continues to hold a slew of meetings to bring the reform. A day after meeting, Home Minister Amit Shah, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami met Prime Minister Modi in the national capital. Dhami, remember, has been battling for UCC to be brought to Uttarakhand and has prepared a draft as well for the same.
यूसीसी कमेटी का ड्राफ्ट कंप्लीट रूप से हमें नहीं मिला है और उनका ड्राफ्ट जब मिलेगा तो उस पर तभी कुछ कह पाना संभव होगा। हम बहुत देर भी नहीं करेंगे, और जल्दबाजी में जो है ऐसा काम भी नहीं होगा कि जो है कि कोई ऊपर का नीचे हो जाए.
Importantly, one of the committee members who prepared the UCC draft in Uttarakhand also accompanied Chief Minister Dhami for the meeting with Prime Minister Modi. The meeting comes a day after a parliamentary panel huddle came together to discuss Uniform Civil Code. Interestingly, Chairman of Parliamentary Panel on Law and BJP MP Sushil Modi pitched for keeping tribals out of the ambit of any proposed UCC and noted that all laws have exceptions.
The chairperson Sushil Modi said perhaps the tribals in the northeast could be kept out of the ambit of it. But then the opposition members countered what was the use if there was no uniformity, and also the entire exercise was completely rendered futile.
यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड एक ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इशू है और मुद्दे क्या हैं? सक्सेशन, इनहेरिटेंस, मैरिज, कस्टडी, डाइवोर्स. उस पे यदि हम कंसेंसस नहीं ला सकते हैं तो ये जो हम कहते हैं कि इंडिया इज अ डाइवर्स कंट्री, उसका मतलब क्या रहा?
Meanwhile, even as the Law Commission has been seeking opinions from regional groups, the Jamiyat Ulama-e-Hind has prepared its reply. Jamiyat head Arshad Magni will send its opinion that Muslims will not accept any law that is against Shariat and hence oppose the Uniform Civil Code.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार वो ये चाहती है कि मुसलमानों के शरई अहकाम को कुचल करके हम जो है वो यहाँ पर राज करें, ऐसा मंजूर नहीं है. हम उनका विरोध करेंगे. हिंदुस्तान का एक एक मुसलमान काले कानून की मुखालफत करेगा.
As speculation grows on whether the BJP will table the UCC bill in the upcoming monsoon session, can the Saffron Party ensure more consensus over the reform? Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, of the non-stop meetings that have happened in the last 24 hours, the one that's most crucial perhaps was the parliamentary panel meet. This is the Standing Committee on Law and Justice that came together to discuss UCC. The chairman of this committee, BJP MP Sushil Modi, reportedly batted for exemption for tribal communities in the northeast and other parts of the country. When asked about this, Sushil Modi essentially has justified it, saying there are many laws across the country where there are exemptions also put in place. So he's proposing a similar exemption as far as UCC is concerned. Now, there were some members who questioned how then can you talk about this being uniform civil code? How can you refer to this as uniformity, that tribals will get the chance to preserve their culture under several articles of the constitution, so there's no need for them to be exempt from UCC. There are also other takeaways from this particular meeting because the opposition leaders voiced their concern. The Congress questioned the timing of these UCC meets. The DMK reportedly also did the same, saying it's timed to the 2024 elections. And that really is what their contention has been throughout. But we don't know if they're against UCC or they're waiting for the draft currently. Let's in fact cut across to breaking news that's coming in. And this is a big story coming in from Karnataka. The Siddaramaiah government has now officially okayed an investigation against the erstwhile Bommai government over the 40% commission Sarkara jibe. This is something that became a big political talking point. The Siddaramaiah government has referred to this time and again. Days ago, we reported here on India Today that there was a proposal from senior Congress leaders to go ahead and conduct an investigation against the alleged scams of the erstwhile BJP government. And now Siddaramaiah government clearly biting the bullet on that. A judicial investigation has been ordered. Nagarjun Dwarkanath is joining us with more details on this. Nagarjun, big breaking news and perhaps the first of many more such probes, many more such investigations against the Bommai government.
Well, that is true. In fact, remember there was already SIT formed on the Bitcoin scam, and now on the 40% corrupt allegation that was done by the Congress and the opposition party. Now, as the government has ordered a judicial probe, what we are told is the Chief Minister has signed the order. An official government order is yet to be issued, but the government feels that a judicial probe was necessary, and hence the order has been made. A retired High Court judge would head this probe, is what we are told. The details of this probe will be given out much later, but the government official order will come out tonight or tomorrow morning is what we are told. The note that was prepared by the department, the Chief Minister has signed it and sent it for the Chief Secretary to make it an official order. By tonight, we are expected that this 40% allegation, the government will be probing by tomorrow morning through an official order.
And let's now to details and highlights from the SCO summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the SCO summit, virtual meet of course, but also extremely important because in one frame, you had India, China and Russia together. Chinese President Xi Jinping was there, the Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was there, Russian President Vladimir Putin as well. It was on this platform with all of these leaders present and listening that the Prime Minister in his inaugural remarks took a hard stand on cross-border terror. He slammed countries for shielding terrorists and sponsoring terror. No prizes for guessing who he was referring to. The Prime Minister also urged SCO leaders to give a separate joint statement condemning radicalization of youth. The Prime Minister also spoke about Afghanistan, saying the ground situation was worrisome, calling for united action for the welfare of Afghanis. The theme of the summit is towards a secure SCO, which was first coined, in fact, by Modi during the 2018 SCO Qingdao summit. The term secure represents security, economy and trade, connectivity, unity, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as environment.
आज SCO से जुड़ने में अन्य देशों की रुचि इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के महत्व का प्रमाण है। इस प्रक्रिया में यह आवश्यक है कि एससीओ का मूल फोकस मध्य एशियाई देशों के हितों और आकांक्षाओं पर केंद्रित रहे। एक्सेलेंसी, आतंकवाद क्षेत्रीय एवं वैश्विक शांति के लिए प्रमुख खतरा बना हुआ है। हम चुनौती से निपटने के लिए निर्णायक कार्रवाई आवश्यक है। आतंकवाद चाहे किसी भी रूप में हो, किसी भी अभिव्यक्ति में हो, हमें इसके विरुद्ध मिलकर लड़ाई करनी होगी। कुछ देश क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को अपनी नीतियों के इंस्ट्रूमेंट के रूप में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आतंकवादियों को पनाह देते हैं। एससीओ को ऐसे देशों की आलोचना में कोई संकोच नहीं करना चाहिए। ऐसे गंभीर विषय पर दोहरे मापदंड के लिए कोई स्थान नहीं होना चाहिए। टेरर फाइनेंसिंग से निपटने के लिए हमें भी आपसी सहयोग बढ़ाना चाहिए। इसमें एससीओ के रेड्स मैकेनिज्म की महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है। हमारे देशों के युवाओं के बीच रेडिकलाइजेशन के फैलावे को रोकने के लिए भी हमें और सक्रिय रूप से कदम उठाने चाहिए। अफगानिस्तान की स्थिति का हम सभी की सुरक्षा पर सीधा प्रभाव पड़ा है। अफगानिस्तान को लेकर भारत की चिंताएं और अपेक्षाएं एससीओ के अधिकांश देशों के समान है। हमें अफगानिस्तान के लोगों के कल्याण के लिए मिलकर प्रयास करने होंगे। अफगान नागरिकों को मानवीय सहायता, एक समावेशी सरकार का गठन, आतंकवाद और ड्रग तस्करी के विरुद्ध लड़ाई तथा महिलाओं, बच्चों और अल्पसंख्यकों के अधिकारों को सुनिश्चित करना हमारी साझा प्राथमिकताएं हैं। भारत और अफगानिस्तान के लोगों के बीच सदियों पुराने मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंध रहे हैं। पिछले 2 दशकों में हमने अफगानिस्तान के आर्थिक और सामाजिक विकास के लिए योगदान दिया है। 2021 के घटनाक्रम के बाद भी हम मानवीय सहायता भेजते रहे हैं। यह आवश्यक है कि अफगानिस्तान की भूमि पड़ोसी देशों में अस्थिरता फैलाने या एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधाराओं को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए उपयोग न की जाए।
So the Prime Minister there not going soft, speaking about issues of cross-border terror, despite who really the audience was, including Pakistan, including China, all of them present in that meet. Let me bring in Gaurav Sawant, the managing editor, with us on this broadcast. Gaurav, good evening. What did you make of the Prime Minister's address? He didn't hold back. Despite Pakistan being there, he spoke of cross-border terror and spoke of several such issues as well. China was in the audience, Pakistan was in the audience, didn't care.
So the Prime Minister is very clear when it comes to terrorism, and he's been this way right from the beginning. He's exposed Pakistan's state-sponsored terror. Here, in a grouping where China is extremely important, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, he also warned countries not to have double standards on terror. Remember, China has been blocking sanctions against terrorists like Hafiz Saeed, Masood Azhar and now Sajid Mir. In the recent past, China repeatedly shields Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror, and the Prime Minister said in this very important grouping that there cannot be double standards in combating terror, there cannot be state-sponsored terror, cross-border terror, and this is where Pakistan stood exposed. But a very significant point here was also the fact that while China and Pakistan are pushing for CPEC or China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with Iran now being a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, spoke of the Chabahar port, and Chabahar gives very important access to India, to Central Asia, because Pakistan again is one country that blocks access to India's goods and services through Pakistan to Afghanistan and beyond to Central Asia. So the Chabahar port, the Prime Minister's emphasis on Chabahar was extremely important, not music to China's ears or Pakistan.
So clearly he didn't hold back. He sent across a message that he wanted to send to Pakistan and to China at the SU. Thanks very much, Gaurav, for joining us here on 6 p.m. Prime. Now let's get to a very interesting story that's also thrown up a lot of serious questions about the kind of security we have at our borders. A 27-year-old woman from Pakistan was arrested in Noida, in Greater Noida, in fact, to be specific. She had made it all the way through from Pakistan, had travelled first to Nepal by flight, and then from Nepal had managed to enter into India without any documents, without any visa or any sort of legal documentation. This woman, Seema Haider, you see on your screens there, illegally entered India via Nepal after falling in love with a man from Greater Noida through a mobile gaming app, PUBG. That's right, it keeps getting more and more bizarre. She resided in Greater Noida with her 3 kids. So from Pakistan, she travelled to Nepal, then entered India with all of her kids, 4 of her kids in fact. When the police came to know about it, Sachin, who was there with her, ran away with the Pakistani woman and her children, but the police managed to track them down. The woman claimed that she knew Sachin for 3 years and wanted to marry him, and she said she doesn't want to go back to Pakistan. But obviously, you have to follow the law of the land, which is why right now she's been taken into custody for having made it into India without any legal documentation. But obviously, a larger question that must be asked here on how she managed to do it so easily, and that too with 4 of her children.
पहले पबजी गेम खेला, उसके बाद खेलने वाले से प्यार हो गया और फिर उस प्यार के लिए अवैध रूप से भारत में अपने 4 बच्चों के साथ दाखिल हो गई। नोएडा पुलिस ने उसे गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। फिलहाल नोएडा पुलिस को कोई फाउल प्ले तो नहीं मिला है, लेकिन जांच अभी जारी है। इसके लिए महिला के मोबाइल की फॉरेंसिक जांच कराई जा रही है और साथ ही साथ नोएडा पुलिस सेंट्रल एजेंसीज की मदद ले रही है ताकि अगर कोई कहीं साजिश हो तो उसका खुलासा हो सके। कैमरामैन लोकेंद्र पांडे के साथ हिमांशु मिश्रा, ग्रेटर नोएडा।
अपने घर पाकिस्तान वापस जाना चाहती हैं? सीमा, आप इधर देखिए, आप अपने घर पाकिस्तान जाना चाहती हैं? क्यों नहीं जाना चाहती हैं? कितने दिनों से सचिन को जानती हैं? 3 साल से। परिवार वाले मान गए थे, सचिन के परिवार वाले? वो नहीं मान गए। बात की होगी इसके लिए? तलाक दे दिया था उनको? जुबानी हो गई। अच्छा।